The road does not hurry. It curves, slowly, between low stone walls, where moss has gathered in soft, uneven patches. A lantern hangs from a wooden post beside the path, its flame steady, its glass warmed by long use. The light reaches only a short distance, then fades, gently, into the dark beyond. Gravel rests beneath each step. Not sharp, not loose. Worn smooth by years of passing feet. Above, the sky holds its stars without effort. They do not shimmer or compete. They remain, quiet points of silver, scattered thinly, as if placed with care. Somewhere far off, water moves. A stream, perhaps. Its sound comes and goes, carried on the night air, then slipping back into silence. The road accepts the listener as they are. It does not ask where they have been. It does not ask where they are going. The lantern's glow falls across the ground in a soft oval. Dust drifts through it, slow enough to be seen, slow enough to settle again before another step is taken. A breeze moves along the hedges. Leaves shift against one another. Not a rustle, something softer. A brushing sound, like fabric folding. The road continues. After a time, there is no need to measure it, a shape appears ahead. Low. Wide. A building set back from the path, its windows darkened except for one. Light spills there, amber and steady, pooling onto the grass. An inn. Its roof sags slightly at the corners. Smoke lifts from a chimney, rising straight for a moment, then drifting, thinning into the night. The scent reaches the road, wood smoke, old timber, something warm simmering long after the fire beneath it has quieted. The door stands closed, but not sealed. A thin line of light shows beneath it. The hinges do not creak when the door opens. They have learned the weight of movement. Inside, the air is warmer. Not hot. Not stifling. Warm in the way stone becomes warm after holding heat all day. The floorboards are dark and smooth. Each one carries faint marks, scratches that run with the grain, polished edges where countless boots have passed. The room opens wide, but not high. Beams cross the ceiling, thick and steady, their surfaces worn smooth by time. At the center, a hearth rests low and broad. The fire is steady. Flames rise and fold back into themselves, slow and practiced. Light moves across the hearthstones, never quite the same shape twice. A log shifts, settling deeper, releasing a soft sound, no crack, just a sigh. A kettle hangs nearby, its metal dulled from use. Heat touches it gently. Steam does not yet rise, but warmth gathers around it when a hand passes close. A long table runs along one wall. Its surface holds the faint rings of cups long lifted away. Benches stand tucked beneath it, pushed in neatly, as if someone paused mid-motion and never returned. Near the fire, a chair waits. It does not stand straight. One leg is shorter than the others. It leans slightly, comfortably, toward the hearth. A folded blanket rests across its back, thick, woven, its edges frayed soft. When the blanket is lifted, it carries weight. The weight of wool, of many nights. It bends easily, settling where it is placed. The chair receives it without complaint. Sitting brings the fire closer. Warmth spreads outward, slow and even. Boots rest on the hearthstone. Soles release the day's cold. Heat gathers there first, then moves upward. The room breathes. Wood creaks once, then again, adjusting as the temperature shifts. Somewhere deeper in the building, a door closes, gently. Footsteps pass overhead, unhurried, then fade. No voices rise. The inn is full enough to be alive, quiet enough to rest. A cup waits on the small table beside the chair. Ceramic, thick-walled, glazed unevenly. Its surface holds the faint imprint of fingers, pressed long ago. The liquid inside is dark and still. Steam curls upward in thin lines, dissolving before reaching the eyes. The cup is warm to the touch. Not hot. Just warm enough to be held without thinking. The first sip carries weight. Not flavor that demands attention, just something grounding. It settles low, without asking to be noticed. The cup is lowered again. Set back onto the table. Not carefully. Not carelessly. The surface beneath it already knows its shape. The fire shifts. Flames lean, then straighten. Light slides along the hearthstones, climbing the legs of the chair, resting briefly on the blanket before moving on. Outside, wind passes along the inn's walls. It presses lightly, then moves away. Shutters remain still. They have been latched with care. Time stretches. Not forward. Outward. The chair supports. The blanket drapes. The fire continues its slow conversation with the room. Wood settles somewhere behind the walls. A quiet sound, answered by another. The building adjusts to itself. From above, a step. Then another. Someone crosses the upper floor, unhurried. Their footsteps soften as they move farther away, until they are gone. No voices rise. The inn holds the quiet without effort. The kettle near the hearth gives a faint sound as heat reaches it again. Not boiling. Just acknowledging. Steam begins to lift, thin and pale, curling upward before dissolving near the beams. A bench is drawn a little closer to the table. The wood slides with a muted scrape, then stops. A hand rests briefly on the tabletop, palm down, feeling the warmth that has soaked into it over many evenings like this. A chair is turned slightly, not to face the fire directly, just enough. Its legs adjust on the floor, settling into familiar dips and grooves. The cup is lifted again. Fingers curl around its curve. Heat presses gently into skin. The cup tilts, slowly. Liquid moves. A swallow follows. Then another pause. The cup is set down. Not where it was before, but close. Close enough to reach again without looking. Firelight plays along the rim, then slips away. The clock on the mantel marks a moment. Its sound is low, nearly lost beneath the quieter movements of flame and air. It does not insist on being heard. Somewhere deeper in the building, a door opens. A pause. Then it closes again, softly. The fire remains steady. Flames rise and fold back into themselves, slow and practiced. Light shifts across the room, never quite repeating its path. Outside the window, the lantern by the road sways almost imperceptibly. Its glow slides across the threshold, then steadies again. A cloak hangs from a peg near the door. The fabric stirs slightly as warm air moves past, then falls still. The scent of wool and night air lingers near it. At some point, there is no clear marker, the door opens again. A figure steps inside. Their movements are familiar to the space. They pause just inside the doorway, letting the light settle behind them. They hang their cloak on the peg. The fabric falls heavy, releasing the cool scent of night. They cross the room without sound. Their footsteps know the boards. They add a log to the fire. Not large, not small, just enough. Flames lift in response, brightening briefly. Light sharpens along the hearthstones, then softens again as the fire settles. No sparks leap, just a low sound, like breath meeting breath. The figure nods once, not toward anyone in particular. Then they move away, disappearing down a side passage. The room returns to itself. The fire holds its shape. Warmth presses outward, reaching knees, hands, the lower edge of the blanket draped over the chair. Wool warms, releases a faint scent, then keeps the heat quietly. Someone sits. The chair answers with a familiar sound. Not a complaint, just recognition. Weight settles. The body follows. Boots are nudged closer to the hearth, then drawn back an inch. Finding the right distance takes a moment. When it is found, movement stops. Silence stretches. Not empty, just wide. From above, a murmur, voices passing in the hallway. Low, unhurried. A door opens. Another closes. Footsteps move away. The room below remains unchanged. The fire continues its steady work. The kettle gives another soft sound. Steam lifts again, thicker now. A cup is filled. The scent of herbs joins the air, gentle and familiar. The cup is carried slowly, held with both hands. Heat seeps in. Shoulders lower a fraction. The candle on the table leans as wax pools on one side. Its flame wavers as the cup passes, then steadies again. Light gathers beneath it, a small island on the tabletop. A book lies nearby, closed. Its cover bears the marks of use. Corners softened, spine creased. It remains untouched. Pages wait without expectation. Outside, the road remains quiet. Lantern light stretches across gravel, touching stones worn smooth. No movement disturbs it. Inside, the blanket is adjusted, pulled higher, then smoothed down again. Fingers trace its edge once, then rest. The chair leans as it always has, supporting, familiar. Firelight reaches the far wall now, illuminating a small carving near the doorframe. A simple shape, worn by time, passed without notice most nights. Tonight, it holds the light a little longer. Then the light shifts again. Not suddenly, not noticeably at first. The fire lowers by a small degree. Flames no longer reach as high along the hearthstones. They fold inward sooner, settling closer to the logs that hold them. Warmth remains. It does not retreat. It simply changes how it rests. Shadows stretch farther now. They touch the edges of the beams. They gather beneath the table, behind the legs of chairs, in places that have learned to wait. The candle on the table burns shorter. Wax gathers along its edge, bends inward, cools. The flame leans once, then straightens, finding its balance again. The clock on the mantel marks another moment. No one turns toward it. From the upper floor, a sound arrives, quiet, measured. Someone turns in their sleep. A bed frame answers with a single, low creak. Then nothing follows. The room absorbs the sound easily. The chair remains steady. The blanket, heavy but forgiving, settles into the curve of shoulders and knees. Its fibers catch briefly on rough cloth, then smooth again as it relaxes. Breathing deepens. Not slower, just fuller. Outside, the breeze shifts direction. It moves along the road now, carrying the scent of damp earth. Somewhere farther out, an owl calls once. Not close. Not far. The sound fades without echo. The lanterns along the road still glow. Their light is dimmer now, halos softened by the night air. One flickers briefly, then steadies. Inside the inn, a shelf holds bowls turned upside down to dry. Their rims catch a faint trace of firelight. Dust rests on their bases, undisturbed. The kettle near the hearth is moved slightly. Not far. Just enough. Steam lessens, but warmth remains around it, held by metal and habit. Footsteps return, briefly. They are lighter this time. Slower. Someone moves through the room with care, straightening a bench, nudging a chair back into place. They pause near the hearth, stir the logs once, then leave again. Their presence trails behind them like a closing door. The fire responds quietly. Flames shift, then settle lower, closer to their center. The room deepens. Corners soften. Edges blur just enough to ease the eyes. The ceiling beams darken until they feel farther away, higher than before. The cup on the table has cooled. Its surface holds a faint ring where warmth once rested. When touched, it offers no resistance, only smooth clay, patient and still. Outside, the stream continues its quiet work. Water moves over stone. Stone made round by years of passing. The night stretches, wide and unbroken. A moth drifts near the window, pale against the dark. It circles once, then again. Finally, it rests on the glass. Its wings fold. It stays. The blanket shifts again. A small adjustment. Fabric slides over fabric. Then stillness returns. The chair leans, content in its familiar tilt. One leg presses into the floorboard that has shaped itself around it. They know each other well. Warmth moves differently now. Not spreading, just existing. A shared presence between fire, stone, and body. Time loosens its grip. Moments are no longer counted. They arrive, then dissolve, leaving no edge behind. From the kitchen, a faint clink, ceramic against wood. Someone sets a bowl aside. The sound is careful, respectful of the quiet already in place. A shutter outside shifts slightly. Wind passes through the narrow gap, carrying the scent of pine. It moves on. Stars drift across the window's frame. One slips out of view as thin clouds gather. The light dims, then returns softer, filtered. The fire continues to lower, slowly, without hurry. Not ending. Just resting deeper within itself. The fire does not go out. It rests. A thin line of red remains beneath the surface of the logs, like a remembered path that still knows where it leads. Now and then, it brightens for a breath, then softens again. The inn holds this pause easily. Wood cools, slowly. Stone keeps what it has been given. The scent of smoke stays low, close to the hearth, mixed with wool, old grain, and the faint trace of herbs left behind in cups. From above, another sound, quiet, measured. Someone turns in their sleep. A bed frame answers with a single, low creak. Then the building settles again. The chair remains steady. The blanket lies heavy but forgiving, shaped now to shoulders and knees. Its edge slips lower, resting against the floor. Wool meets wood. Neither moves. Breathing finds its rhythm. In the far corner, near the window, the candle has burned down to a short pillar. Its flame leans once, as if considering, then straightens. Wax gathers along its edge, folds inward, cools. Outside, the breeze has shifted again. It moves along the hedges, then the road, carrying the scent of damp earth. Far off, water continues over stone, patient and unchanging. The lanterns along the road still glow. Their light is dimmer now, halos softened by the night air. One flickers briefly, then steadies. Inside the inn, bowls rest upside down on a shelf. Their rims catch a final hint of firelight. Dust remains undisturbed at their bases. The clock on the mantel advances another mark. Its sound is almost imagined. A slow movement within it continues its work without needing to be heard. The room deepens further. Corners soften. Shadows pool beneath tables, behind chair legs, along the base of the walls. The ceiling beams darken until they feel farther away, higher than before. The cup on the table has cooled completely. Its surface holds the faint ring of warmth left behind earlier. When touched, it offers only smooth clay, patient and still. Footsteps do not return. The inn does not require them. Outside, the moth lifts from the window, circles once, then disappears into the dark beyond the glass. The fire's glow becomes more suggestion than flame. Red fades to a dull orange, then to heat held quietly in stone. The inn does not mind. It has known nights longer than this. It has known deeper quiet. In a small room at the back, a kettle cools fully. Its metal contracts with a soft click. Then silence settles again. The clock moves forward once more. No one listens. It continues anyway. Breathing slows further. Each breath finds the same depth, the same pause between. Outside, the road lies empty now. No footsteps. No carts. Only the lanterns, patient, marking a way that will be needed later. The inn stands between journeys, a place where movement stops without effort, where night is allowed to finish what it began. Darkness fills the hearth, not empty, just quiet. The chair holds, the room holds, the warmth remains.